Well, we have now listened, and it's been quite a very, I would say, a very exciting experience to hear this story. And it's something that most of us, in fact, I'm sure, have never even thought of such things, to say nothing of actually talking with one who has experienced this, well, let's call it a metaphysical experience. I suppose that's what it is. And it is very enlightening in this realm of space, of which we are all engrossed in at this time. Now we're going to have a short period of question and answers. Mr. Carey is sitting here, and incidentally, this part of the tape is being made many hours later than the first part. This is now almost midnight the same day. So each one that is here is going to mention their name and ask any type of question whatsoever in regard to what we have heard. Now, Mr. Frank Roberts is standing right here, and I'm sure he has a good question. Frank, your question, please.
All right. Clint, earlier this evening, before you came in, why, Bob had invited my wife and I, Eleanor, over here to be able to meet you and hear this tape. And I made the statement that, believe me, he had really run into a square. I'm a square. I'm the kind of a guy that if the American flag goes down in front of me on the street, why, it makes me feel awfully proud. Actually, a tear can come into my eye from something of that sort. Of course, I'm a retired Navy chief. And so this is a little far-fetched for me, but I want to believe. I won't say it's not possible. Believe me. In regards to the formula that you have knowledge of, this formula, have you ever given that to the government? Have they ever asked you for the formula? And if they have, do they think that it could be used successfully in a spaceship of that sort?
Well, that covers quite a bit of territory, and so I'll try to take the question, or the structure of it, from what it's made out of, because you see, when I hear a question, I don't just hear the question, I hear the hidden motives in back of a question. So we'll tear it down and take it apart and see what it's made out of, and then I'll answer the question step by step so that everyone in this room will understand. First of all, permit me to tell you that I was told this world, this earth, is merely a stepping stone into the infinite. That actually it is divided amongst itself, not only by countries and geographically, but even the people are divided here, you see. And it will be that way because we have certain lessons, certain fundamentals to learn before we can actually begin to enjoy the beauties that were put here by our Creator for us to enjoy. So it's like going through kindergarten and your teacher slaps you on the hand for doing something wrong. That's when we start a war here, you see. The world spins on its axis and goes in its orbit around the centrifugal point of its system, which is the sun. Also, the world is made up of the same vibrations as the structure of the atom, which is our system. It's like a enlarged atom because everything is relative, you see. The world started in the east and ends in the west. The country that is on the west during the position that is known as Bacillus Apum, which comes every 52,000 years, 162 days, 3 hours, in 2 minutes. That means that a huge planet from another system, in fact it comes from the system known as Orion, comes down and touches right through our system. It doesn't touch any planets, but it has an influence. It turns these planets on their axis. It's a purifying period. The Lacalis Apum is known as a purifying period of the world. When this happens, the civilization that is on the brink of the west coast is considered the highest civilization at that time on the globe. And metaphysically, it is way up on the scale, and what is left behind, such as Europe and India and Africa, they're on the lower steps of the ladder, you see. They have not evolved to the point that we have. That is why we have great luxuries in this country. That is why we love our flag. It's a symbol of what the greatest civilization on the face of the earth today stands for, you see. So that answers the first part of the second part. Then we go, I don't want to make this too long because there are other people here that would like to ask questions.
I have another short question.
All right, then you ask this and see whether it fits in,
Yeah.
and if it does, I'll answer it in its proper turn.
Mm-hmm. You spoke just now at the start of your answer of our Creator. And in regards to these space people that you have met, what do they think about religion? Do they have a God? And if so, is it somewhat similar or the same as our own? I would suppose it would have to be the same as our own. And do you believe in religion?
No, I certainly don't. I believe in philosophy, but not religion. You see, these very highly evolved beings, religion serves a purpose here, and I do not condemn it, nor do I judge it. It serves its purpose. But I don't believe in it, because after you had an experience like this, you also wouldn't believe in it. Then you would know that there is only one supreme being, and it's what they worship in the churches, although they do not understand what it is. Up there, it is more understood than it is here, but it will never be perfectly understood because life is infinity itself. So it's a never-ending principle, you see. You can more fully appreciate, as a great teacher told me on this planet one time, he said that we find that as we rise into the more etheric levels of consciousness, we find that we are able to enjoy, to assimilate, and understand correspondingly with our state of development or awareness, if you want to put it that way. Does that answer your question?
How long were you up there?
The first trip I was there for 2 days, our time. It's relative again. And the second trip for 3 days. And I wanted to stay there, but I couldn't.
And how do they think of our Lord Jesus? Do they have that kind of a thought of our Lord Jesus as we do here on earth?
I could answer that question by quoting something that the Master said. He says, "There are many mansions in my Father's house." And that means that there are also many teachers in the universe. There are many sons of God, many, many. And there always will be such. We have to have teachers.
Well, this is Eleanor Robertson. I've got just a short question to ask you. You mentioned about wearing these gowns. Now, do they have two sexes like we have down here, or they're just one being? Are they?
Well, Eleanor, let me put it this way. These people are homogeneous. You see, I can explain it simply so that everyone here will understand it. We have here on this world a state or a situation that we call marriage. It's a blending of the pure essence of the male and the female, a blending together. In the Orient, in some of the old philosophies, when you reach that state of oneness within, where the outward manifestation is where it should be without, that is known as mystic union. But this is a physical world. Up there is a different vibration, a different dimension. So these people actually are male and female, which are blended into one, in one awareness. So there is no state of sex there as we know it here. They're risen way above that, you see. It's not needed anymore. They have propagation, but it's done by other means.
They do, their population does increase like we do here, though.
No, it doesn't. There is no propagation on the planet of Rillispor, although there is another planet in their system, a sister planet, where all propagation is done there. And I asked them about this, and they tried to explain it, but it was so far above my comprehension that I couldn't get it. But they did explain that the children are born there. And when they reach maturity, which is 40 years of age, they are put through very extensive examinations and tests. And they're groomed in human behavior and how to enjoy what they're going to reap as their lifetime, which is the average span of life on Rillispor is about 1,000 years. So they have 1,000 years on this plane in which to enjoy life, you see.
Well,
Say your name. Tell your name.
this is Ruth Griffin, and I probably have a stupid question, but I'm rather curious to know why it was that you were chosen as a means. Is it because possibly you were a receptive person? I don't know if that's the only way. That's the only way I can think of to describe it. And would it be possible that Bob here ran into you for him to have this experience of hearing all this, because Bob is rather an receptive person too, possibly.
Well, first of all, Ruth, I'll tell you there is no such thing as a stupid question. If you didn't want to know the answer, you wouldn't ask it. You see, I was chosen, I was told, because there are very few people in this world that have a balance which is known as positive-negative equal. It's like, I could describe it in this way, like a teeter-totter. And you have direct centrifugal balance on the center, and on one side you have positive, on the other side negative. When the teeter-totter is perfectly balanced, 550, 550, you have a very rare balance, because with most people on this world, they're either negative one side a little bit, or they're either positive on one side a little bit. So it would be a 460, 440. See, this is in terms of mathematics or electricity, if you want to call it that. Actually, it is NTD. It is NTD, but NTD is not known here yet. It will be. So I was chosen because I had this very strange balance. I was born this way. People are born that way, and it's derived from various incarnations before. And you're the sum total of what you are at this point, and you're here for a purpose, as a teacher, you might say. And so I was chosen, and then when I had this first experience in Mexico in 1930, I was groomed. If I hadn't had this balance, I couldn't have assimilated color vibrations and had the awareness and the perception, as you say. I couldn't have gotten it. Not in one lifetime. It would take many, many incarnations to receive this. So you might say the grooming started many thousands of years ago and is reaching its apex right now. And the last part of the question regarding Bob, yeah, you're correct. I am always in the right place at the right time, because I have nothing to say or to do that would control where I am or what I say. I say what people want to hear. because that's what I'm told to do.
This is Jack Bruno, known as XIL over 3. Dr. Clint Carey, do you think that this year possibly, which I feel very strongly, we come in contact?
This is the year. This is the year 6-3 over little 2. If it isn't done this year, it never will be here. Didn't mean to rhyme that, but it came out that way.
Well, this is Oaks again, XIB number 8. And this has been a very wonderful experience. And I'll say this.